Welcome to Shenandoah Valley Bride. This is our do-it-yourself, and today we're making paper flowers. So we're going to talk about the different types of things that I have here. We've got two different types of paper. This is just scrapbooking paper, so it's a little bit heavier, so when you fold it you need to make sure that your lines are very creased, otherwise it's gonna want to pop open when you hot glue it. And then for anybody who really likes books, I've got some paper that's just book pages. So this is a lot thinner, so it's really easy to fold and it's really easy to use. I wouldn't recommend textured papers because they're a lot heavier and they don't want to stay closed when you hot glue them. We're going to be making just regular flower pieces, and we're going to do flowers with stems so that you can use them for making a bouquet or something like that. We're also going to use 6 of them and do centerpieces, so you can use those for your tables and whatever else you want. And if you make 2 centerpieces, you can put them together with a little bit of ribbon, and you can make them into balls so that they can hang from your ceiling or wherever, and they're great for decorations. So we're going to start with just making the flower, just the basic thing. So first you want to, for the big flowers, I do a 6x6 piece of paper. For the small flowers, I do a 4x4. So you take your piece of paper, you want it square, and you fold it diagonally so that you get a triangle. Take each corner and pull it up to the middle. Make sure to really press your lines. It's okay if your paper isn't perfectly even. It's going to look beautiful anyway. Alright, so then you take each little triangle that you folded up and you sort of bow it out so that you form a cone. And press it down. You want it about center, as close to center as you can get. Just make your lines, and then you do the same with the opposite side. Okay, so now you've got this. What you're going to do is you're going to take the top and you want to fold it level with your original. So just fold it back and press. And that's what you've got. So now you take the outside triangle that you've got right here, you can see where your line is, and you fold it over on top of itself. So if it's not perfectly even, it's not a big deal. It's still gonna work, but you want it to be as close as possible. So now you've basically got your flower. What you're gonna do is you're gonna add hot glue to either flap, pull it together, and hold it. For the heavier paper, you're going to have to hold it a lot longer and put a little bit more glue because it doesn't want to stay together as much as the thinner paper, but it still works. So let's do a little hot glue. And hold it together. If it squeezes out a little bit, you can just wipe it away if your fingertips allow it. If not, just leave it. It's going to be glued inside with the other petals, so it's not going to matter. Okay, once your glue has set, you want to take all 5 petals, because you need 5 for a flower, and start gluing them together. So just add a little bead on one side, take a second petal, and just hold it there for a couple of seconds again so that the glue will dry. Once that's ready, we're going to repeat with the rest of the flower, or with the rest of the petals. Just all the way around, and you want to keep them tight to the center so that there's not too big of a gap, and so that the flower will actually close. Okay, so your basic flower, if you don't want anything else besides just the flower. So if you're just doing this, you just would add the 5th petal, and that would be it. If you want to do something with a stem like this one, you just take a little bit of the wire, which I got. It's just with regular like fake flowers at the store. And you just grab it and turn it into a stem, and I add just a little bit of glue to the inside. And I use 2 for the 6x6 flowers because they're heavier, and only 1 for the 4x4. So just put it in there and twist it a little bit in the hot glue to make sure that it sets. And then for the last petal, you're gonna add 2 things of glue, 1 on each side, just to connect it completely. Oops. And just like that, you've got a flower. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, just a little bit of repetition. Now, if you want to add a little bit of something extra to your flower, I found these, they're little buttons, but they do great for it. So you can just add a little hot glue to the middle. I'll show you with this one. So we're just going to add a little bit of hot glue just right around the middle, right around the edge. And you take your button and you stick it in there. And it just gives it a little bit something extra. So if you're looking for a little glitz for your wedding, it's perfect. Okay, so now we're going to make a flower with the book paper that I've got. It's a lot lighter, if you remember, than the other paper, so it's going to go a lot faster. It's a lot easier to maneuver and to use. So you just fold it, make your triangle, pull up your ends. There's a lot less pressing with this one because the paper is so much more delicate. So just going to pop them out so that you get your little petal coming up. And then fold down your tips again so that they're in line with the square. Fold the half that's sticking out in on top of its partner. And then we're just going to apply a little bit of glue. It's a lot less glue than what you had to put for the other one because the paper will just take it so much faster. So just a little bit there, and you're done. So for assembling this flower, yet again, just 1 little bead for this one instead of the bigger amount for the heavier paper. You also don't have to worry about holding it as much, which is, it's a nice change. So that's something to keep in mind when you're out looking for what paper you want. Just remember that it's going to take a little bit more glue and a little bit more pressure to do a heavier paper. I'm not saying it's not worth it, because if it's something that you love, then obviously it's going to be worth it for your wedding, but it's just something to keep in mind. And there we go with another one. So now we're going to assemble the centerpiece. So what you need is 6 of the flowers. I've already got mine done, so what we're going to do is you just start with 2 petals, it doesn't matter which ones, and put a little bead of glue down your entire petal. Take another flower and you want to put 2 petals up against it, just so that they glue together. Okay. Now, working your way around, you want to make sure that there's 1 petal that isn't attached to anything, they're just sitting on and propping it up. You can see right here. So we're not going to glue these to anything. So the next 2 that are going to get glued are these 2. continue our way around. We're only going to use 5, and then the 6 will go on top in the middle. So your 5th one, yet again, you have to add extra glue just to connect it all the way around. You just add a little bit of pressure to the glue, it'll make it adhere a lot better. So this is what we've got. It's a great start. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in here. You want the petals of the top to line up with where the petals for each of the flowers on the bottom connect. So we're just gonna add a tiny bit of glue to each of those connections right at the very top. You don't have to go all the way down. And that will do the trick. And just like that, you've got your centerpiece. It's pretty quick, pretty easy, and it's all based off the same flower, so that's great. What I did with this one that's a little different is if your color is like pink or something and you want to do a focal point for it so that you pull your colors into it, I just put a pink flower in the middle. It's up to you. You can do all of it with this type of flower. You can do each flower differently. There's a lot of different ways to customize it. Alright, so now we're going to do the ball. So the ball is basically just 2 centerpieces that have been glued together with a little bit of ribbon to hang. So I found this ribbon and I think it's perfect because it matches the burlap and lace theme that's been going on. So we're just going to take this and just glue it together a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to glue it to one of these. Just flip it over and put it wherever you want. Okay, so that's how it'll hang. And now, for putting it together, you want it so that the petals that are sitting down that we're propping it up are going to go in between the others. So where these are, they will go in where it comes up so that they'll fit just perfectly. So just a little glue again, just to make them attach. And voila, you have your ball. It'll be great if you want to hang it up at your venue, hang it from the ceiling. It just adds a little extra decoration, a little bit of twinkle lights, and it'll be perfect. That's it.